Hi, I'm Dia Mirza and you're watching me on Bazooka.
Hello and welcome to Bazooka, and today we are going to talk about Diwali celebrations with an actor who has redefined how to celebrate Diwali, and that is what was my excitement all about. So we welcome on board the very pretty, gorgeous, and I think the very sensible Dia Mirza. Thank you so much, ma'am. Happy Diwali first of all.
Happy
and
Diwali, Ishita.
You look lovely.
As do you. I love your mekhla chador.
Yeah, thank you so much. And now I would like to begin with a very interesting, maybe touching question. What is your fondest memory of Diwali as a child?
Soaking the diya, the mitti ka diyas in water.
Yeah.
Drying them in the sun, rolling the cotton wicks, placing them in the diyas, pouring the oil, and when evening set, lighting the diyas with my mother.
Okay.
And then decorating the whole house.
Yeah.
You know, our beautiful home in Hyderabad that had lots of plants and trees, just setting all the diyas out and the house being resplendent with that light, eating lots of mithai, eating yummy food, just spending time with cousins and friends and love and laughter. It was a very special time of year. It was also the only second time in the year that my mother would make new clothes for me.
Oh,
so
yeah,
actually there are three times in the
yeah.
year. So for Dasera, I would get 10 clothes. For Diwali, I would get 2 outfits. For my birthday, I would get 1 outfit. And that was it.
Yeah, that
was
it
the
for-
year's
yeah.
quota.
Yeah.
Unless we were growing very fast. And then we kind of wore clothes that our cousins, you know, passed on. Our older cousins.
The very first, the way we were introduced to say reusing stuff, repurposing. Yeah, I mean, which is trendy now, but that we all have been doing like as a child.
I always say that, you know, we are so lucky that we grew up in the 80s.
Yes.
But, you know, people who grew up in the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, our understanding of sustainability was so like integral and it was such a common part of everyday life. I think it's only in the late 80s, early 90s that, you know, when the markets kind of opened up and there was a really big push for consumerist culture that things started to change. And my God, if I told my kids that I'll give them only 15 outfits in a whole year and then the rest they'll have to only wear pass me ons, they'll be like,
and
excuse me.
It's like nobody counts how many garments you buy in a year, because now it's not even there, because you like something, there's so many options
but
available.
lots of people now, Ishita, going back to
obviously that's how the whole
minimalism
thing
and a minimalist approach, which is wonderful.
Yeah, that is great. So how is your Diwali celebration now? I mean, the way you celebrate now different from how you did, or you are trying to just keep it
It's
like
exactly the same.
Okay.
Exactly the same. I think the idea really is to not be consumerist.
Yes.
To not be wasteful. So even the whole, earlier I used to send people diyas made by the Cancer Patient Aid Association. But now I don't even do that. I just kind of grow trees in people's names. I contribute to children's education. I think it's just such a meaningful way to celebrate and honor the people in our lives, right? Colleagues, friends, and family. And at home, it's always simple. We have one evening where, you know, we call our friends and family over. So there's lots of khana and gana and, you know, mithai and all of that. But the decor is always simple. It's, we try and use only like marigold and mogra. And the same mitti ke diye and urlis and you know, things like that, and rangoli. And on Diwali day, it's basically about doing the rangoli with the children, because that's like they really enjoy that.
Correct.
then doing the puja, lighting the diyas with the kids, because they really look forward to that
is
as well.
something, yeah.
My little Chotu lit 2 diyas with me today. And yeah, spending time with family, and then of course going out and meeting friends and family. Yeah.
Ah. So, like when you say about Diwali food, so what is your favorite thing to gorge on? And do you keep a check on your like diet on these days?
No, it's absolutely no point doing that, because it is that one time of year when you should absolutely give in to every indulgence, especially the mithai. So my favorite mithai is this besan ki barfi.
Okay.
That Sophie sends me every year, which I really look forward to. And Avyan tasted it for the first time this year because he's just started, he's allowed sugar now.
Okay.
So he loved it too. But you know, for us, we grew up in Hyderabad, so Diwali would be like biryani.
Yeah.
And bagane bengan and mirchi ka salan. I think every region has its own kind of delicacies. And our house too, and we are vegetarian on Diwali, so that's like really nice.
So how are you celebrating with your son? Like anything special you're doing this year? And
Father and son have a matching kurta pajama stitched for them, which I'm really happy and excited about. And brother and sister will also be wearing matching clothes. I love seeing the children in the same colors. And
yeah, and that is how it was in the 80s, 90s back. Remember, like everybody used to give
simple joys.
Yeah, simple choices. I mean, you're really getting those times back. So that's amazing. And then like, tell us like about, irrespective of the celebration and all, like as you said, you plant saplings and you do other activities as your contribution during Diwali for the society. So like, how did you come upon that idea and why do you feel so? Because you do so many such
Ishita,
work.
especially during Diwali, what happens is, and this is something I used to notice over the years, just so many boxes and parcels and packages would arrive.
Yeah.
And so much waste would get created. And so many things you don't need. And what do you end up doing with it? You pass it on, or you just store it and you never use it. And it's just such a wasteful culture. And so I decided that, you know, I'm going to request people not to send stuff unless it's perishable. So like if it's a mithai or something, it's okay. But no, not things, right? Because we don't need more things. We have enough things. We have to keep thinking about how we need to reduce the things we bring into life. And how can I honor the people in my life? By making a contribution for children's education, because I think that's the best way to light up lives. And to, of course, honor the earth, which is grow trees. And the kids don't burst crackers. They know that, you know, the air is really polluted. It doesn't make sense to contribute to that pollution. And they also are aware that a lot of children work in cracker factories. And they're very against that. And I think children today are very sensible. They know better than most people do. And I love, you know, standing by that and respecting that. And I'm so proud that my children care about these things.
Yeah, exactly. So like, because you have voiced for so many important issues, and especially if we talk about the Diwali thing, like say the cracker thing, or you know,
But Ishita, year round I focus on clean air. Year round I talk about the polluted air.
Exactly.
Mumbai in the last 5 years has had clean air only for 3 months, which is the months of rain. Other than that, we've had very poor to hazardous air quality levels. Everybody has Delhi in focus, but there are 21 cities in our country that have extremely polluted air. And I don't think that only talking about poor air during Diwali is good enough or is right. Because there are a lot of people who feel that making a pledge for clean air during Diwali comes across as anti-Hindu. You know, there are so many people who accuse you of that. But they also need to understand that this is something that one does year round. It's not something you do only during Diwali. And it's not something one needs to only focus during Diwali. Having said that, bursting is like unregulated numbers of crackers in an already polluted environment only makes it worse. And who does it ultimately harm? our elderly and our
Yeah.
children and our health.
Yeah, exactly. That's true. So when you voice about these things, like, do you think there a change is coming?
Lots of
Like,
people are
okay.
changing, Ishita, but if you notice the trends online, they're
Yeah.
terrifying.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of people who, I don't know why there is this idea that anything you say is perceived as, I don't know, anti-Hindu. It shouldn't be.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'm not one for justifying
Yeah.
such things.
Yeah.
But a lot of environmentalists, especially women, are attacked and are and it's terrifying, the kind of attacks that we get and abuse that we get online. But we have to keep doing what we're
Yeah,
doing.
exactly. Like, you have to take a stand for what's right,
Yeah.
according to you. That's true. And now, like, and when it comes to Diwali shopping, say, you know, with regards to clothes, I'm saying. So how do you take that choice? Like, you know, like, you keep a count on how many are you going to purchase, or, you know, what kind of stuff you're going to wear.
Well,
Like,
it's always about getting things, clothes made that are, you know, from natural hand woven textiles. So keeping sustainability at the core of those choices. I really enjoy buying clothes for all our house help. It's a very special time of year for them, especially. They get their bonuses and, you know, they look forward to their new clothes.
yeah.
And yeah, for family also, it's you know, just like a token exchange of garments that then we continue to enjoy over the years.
Yeah, that's true. So you keep a check on, like, you know, the kind of shopping you do or how much you're purchasing. So personally, like, everything for you, because you, when we talk about sustainability, it is a holistic approach. It's
Yeah.
not like unidimensional.
Yeah.
So you, and you know, maintaining that in each and every aspect of your life, because you just can't go and declare.
I think the idea really is not to be wasteful and not to be excessive.
So now it comes very, like, naturally to you. Like, you don't have to think about it कि क्या ये sustainable है नहीं है, मैं लूँ ना लूँ.
No, I mean, we know from where we get everything.
Okay.
So those are like our permanent stops.
Okay, so it's sorted for you now. And now, talking about your films, really loved I Say 814, and you know, like, the kind of love it's getting for all that it is worth. So how do you have to, because I love your character especially, and I think the way you were styled in that movie, that was also very you, I think, somehow. So how did you, like, you know, how was your experience shooting that movie, your look and everything about your character?
I love working with Anubhav Sinha.
Okay.
I love representing women with agency. I think it's so important
Yeah.
to play characters that have agency, because in some way or the other it inspires women.
Yeah.
Right? And I've admired my journalist friends over the years. The Kandahar hijack happened in the year I was training for the Miss India, and I was here in Mumbai, and it was the 1999 December. And so many of the women who I met in journalism at that time, 2000, early 2000, continue to be people I know and admire. And when I was asked to play this part, I actually spoke to many of them to understand what the work environment was at the time. Because a lot has changed, a lot hasn't changed. But to also just get a sense of what it was like those 7 days, you know, what were they doing? And some of them shared such powerful stories with me, and I always say that what happened with them may not be in the show, but I carried those stories in my bones, because it's important, as when you play a character, to just go into that part with the awareness of what that world and what that time and what it was like for women.
Yeah, I know. And it's like almost,
and
more
maybe
than
at some
20
level it comes through.
Yeah.
I love my rapport with Ammu also, Amrita Puri. It was great fun.
Yeah, and I think that was actually coming across in the screen also, like, you know, that thing. And now, anything you can speak about any of your upcoming project, like anything if you would like to share.
I think the good thing, Ishita, is that, you know, I find myself in a sweet spot. I'm able to do the work that I love. I'm working with people I deeply respect and admire. And I'm playing the kind of parts that make me feel alive and worthwhile.
Yeah.
Hopefully, the sum total of all these parts someday will be looked back at as women who had agency, who had power, and who brought about some kind of a change.
Yeah. And do you think like movies do play a very significant role in bringing about a major change in society? Do you think that?
Oh, absolutely. We are not a soft power. I think we're a superpower.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, all human condition is determined by the stories that we tell ourselves.
Yeah.
And how we perceive our women, especially on screen, is what defines how we progress. And we've made some progress, but we have a lot of progress to make. We have a long way to go.
I think any female will vouch for that. I mean, but thankfully we have seen a lot of progress in our time, at least. Like personally, I feel like certain changes are visible now, but of course we have a long way to go. But thankfully we have people like you, actors like you, who are using the medium, you know, to the optimum potential of bringing about a change, which is so great. Like I also loved your character in Kafir and then Thak Thak, especially working with, you know, Ratna Pathak ma'am and all. Like, and
Thak Thak was very special.
Yeah,
very
that
special.
was amazing, especially. But I have to end this asking, because that is something I cannot miss in the interview about RHTDM, about its re-release. And I actually saw this whole live, you guys came, you and Madhavan sir, yeah, and it was so beautiful. I mean, just looking at you, I mean, that live interview which you guys did recently, it, like, when you guys were talking, like, it was a personal space, but then it was as if like we were also being a part of that. And how was that? Because it's such a cult movie and it's my husband's favorite movie. It's like, you know, how can you miss it? He is still like Maddie zone even now. So how is that, like, how fond, you know, like, because it was your first movie, and love, the kind of love that movie has received. And when we think about, like, Dia Mirza, RHTDM is not separate from you, you know, like, it's so much a part of you. So how is that movie different or special?
I think Rehna Hai Tere Dil Mein is a gift that doesn't stop giving.
Yeah.
You know, it's, I think it's a privilege as an actor to be associated with a film that has such a strong recall and has such a strong sense of nostalgia in so many people's lives. I have people walk up to me and say, I proposed to my wife after I saw this film. I've seen this film 30 times. I've seen this film 100 times. And I'm like, wow. It's incredible. And what can we feel other than just deep gratitude? And, you know, I think the songs and the music had a very big role to play in the strong sense of nostalgia people feel. Songs like Zara Zara, Sach Keh Raha Hai Dewana, Dil Ko Tumse Pyar Hua.
Very profound. Very profound.
Yeah, and so progressive.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
I don't think songs were written before that or have been written after that about a woman professing her sexual desire.
Exactly.
And doing it in such a aesthetic, graceful way. And so yeah, I think there's a lot there that one needs to just cherish and be grateful for.
But and more than the movie, what I loved in the interview is because you guys shared all those backstories, you know, like how you guys were new.
हम लोग मोटे थे. We would be like, we got flack for our clothes, we got flack for our fat.
No, that apart.
We're living through an era of, we're living through an era of perfection. You know, when we see people on screen today, we see just perfection. And we were bumbling.
But the beauty is, like, those times everything was different, everybody was different. Now, you know, there's a very fine line. I mean, unfortunately, I don't know, like, this thing of not embracing your own self. I mean, obviously it's a personal choice.
People are being encouraged to embrace themselves.
Exactly.
More and more.
That, you know, it's like
but the pressure
are happening at the same
Ishita,
time.
I feel also there's a lot of pressure on people.
Yeah. That's one side of the story.
We had as well. And it took a toll on Maddie and me. We've spoken about it. But I guess with time you learn to embrace yourself and just be you and be happy.
That's true. Anyway, thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
giving us your precious time.
Thank you.
Especially on Diwali Eve. It's a great thing. I mean, and we're really thankful from our heart. And wish you and your family a very happy and safe Diwali.
You too.
And may you have a great year ahead. And may we see a lot more powerful characters coming through you on screen. And thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank
Happy
you so much.
Diwali.
Happy Diwali.